and salutations, guys. This is Zarcon again, and here we are for another episode of Starsector. Alright, so, unfortunately, the battle I was going to show you from the end of last episode, I had to go ahead and take care of at the time, because I couldn't save in the middle of it. So, we won't get to see that one, but it wasn't that impressive a battle anyway. So right now we're going to go ahead and disengage from this current fleet, because we're a little messed up. We need to get repaired, so this hostile fleet only has a maximum burn level of 6, which is just basically the overall speed of the fleet, because it all has to stay together. And over here you can see our maximum burn. Right now it's 7, so we can outrun it. I had to jettison a little bit of cargo because I was over over my my limit. So we're going to use a lot of supplies right now as we navigate, because we're repairing, and you can see that our fleet-wide hull and armor status is 83%. It's going to take about 4 days to repair. And our combat readiness is basically, well, you know, when you fire a bunch of weapons and you get hit, just imagine a ship getting rattled, bolts coming loose, equipment getting a little fried by EMP, stuff like that. So when the combat readiness is down, it just means, you know what, we're not quite as ready for combat as we were previously. So you can see here, it's at overall 67% right now, and it could get a lot better, all the way up to 93% overall. So there's a lot of making up to do there, and all that requires supplies to replenish. So you're going to use supplies to repair, and supplies to become more combat ready. So anyway, here we go. Should be able to escape. Oh, okay. This enemy fleet is gone all the way up to a maximum burn of 10. And they used emergency burn, so we're going to attempt to escape. Now it's going to cost supplies and fuel. They're so close right now, because it took me by surprise, that we may not be able to escape, but we're going to give it an effort. Ah, not able to escape. Well, such are the fortunes of war. I don't think we're going to be able to disengage with a cruiser on board, so we're just going to have to engage these suckers. Alright, let's do it. The best laid plans don't always work out. Okay. Alright. So here we go with our impromptu battle. Yay for realism. The enemy doesn't do what you tell them to do? What? Yes. Their enemy. Okay, raising shields. So you right click to raise shields, as you can see. And as I detect a threat, like that laser pounding us from long range, I raise the shields just to avoid the tremendous damage to my hull and armor. So, as you can notice right here, there's a flux meter there I mentioned earlier. It's raising because our shield is up, and because oh, that's weird. Is it pushing me? I think that weapon actually pushed me. Fascinating. Okay, so as the flux is generated, you can see the current damage right here on my shields, but also you can see the flux go up. And the flux means I'm firing weapons, I'm taking damage, things of that nature. Okay. And if the flux goes all the way to the top, then, well, I'll overload, and bad things will happen. You don't want to overload, it's bad. Okay. So we're going to try to be more careful than that. Boink. Take it. Okay, so I'm about to overload. This is the point where I should probably retreat. I shouldn't have let it get that high, actually. Just gonna take a few hits here and get rid of my flux. Now, there's certain situations, right now I'm defenseless. If there was an opponent with a lot of missile weapons or something, or torpedoes, they could have assaulted me at that point, and I would have been helpless. So, definitely a risk. Deciding when to do your flux. Boom! Haha, sucker! Alright, not bad. That was not too bad. We did okay. Obviously, our frigate's combat readiness is in the toilet. Gotta get that guy fixed up. Once it's in the yellow, it risks malfunctions if we deploy it. So, alright, we really don't have any space for any of this garbo. Let's see, I'll take a couple things that I like. I like those repeaters. Oh, what else? What else, Zarcon? Take a few extra supplies, because what happens is if you're overburdened, the primary thing that happens is it costs more supplies, which isn't really a big deal if you have extra supplies. So, no whoop. I like that rare metal, it's pretty valuable. So let's take a little more supplies. And, yeah. Because we're going to actually use a fair bit of supplies. Let's take all of it. Use a fair bit of supplies, just regenerating. So we're going to go towards this jump point and get out of dodge. We're going to head back to home base, and I think I'm going to make a few changes. I'm going to show you the refit screen and show you kind of what it looks like to refit your ships to a different configuration. So that'll be fun. Alright, so we'll be right back when we get back to the home base. And we're back! So, we were intercepted by another fleet on our way out of here. This star system has not been kind. This is a fairly easy to defeat fleet, so I'm not too worried about it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the combat anyway. These guys should get annihilated pretty fast. Alright. I mean, technically, let's see, is that a... I want to say that's a cruiser rifle. I'm trying to figure out where I can read that. Ah, sucker! Took them all out. That's right. Struggling to be able to tell class. Oh, fascinating. Alright, you saw how quick that was. That was nuts. We totally outclassed them in every possible way. Okay, grab a couple extra little things. Alright, so, once again, we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so, we're actually in hyperspace right now, and I just want to show you this little bit of a nebula, hyperspace nebula storm. So if you go through that, you have an increased supply usage, and it'll really drain your supplies rapidly, and you also slow down to a crawl. So you have to avoid that. You can kind of see the areas begin to glow before they turn into the true storm, but this part directly below us, that would be a problem if we're in it. So we're trying to skirt it, and we're doing okay. Now, the reason I wanted to come back is our burn level's a little low right now, and this fleet is pursuing this little fleet over here, okay? It's never going to catch that fleet, but it might catch ours, so I thought I'd give you a heads up. We may have to fight another battle here. Let's see how it goes. Oops. Hold on. Alright, Zarcon, we slowed down for some bizarre reason. I think I clicked the wrong button. So we're at a 7, and they're at an 8. So they're gaining on us. We could emergency burn, but then they might emergency burn, and we just waste a lot of resources. So, oh, we repaired. We repaired up to the level where we have a burn of 8, so we're cool. That was looking pretty dicey there for a second. Uh-oh. Whoa. We almost went through a... Whoa, we're right in the middle of a storm. Oh, this is bad. Okay, but apparently that other fleet was so disinterested in going into the storm that actually it saved us, which is kind of amusing. Good deal. So we got past. I think we would have defeated them, but it was a little extra combat than we wanted. Alright, this time for real. BRB. And we're back. Alright, so here we are at our cruiser. We're taking a look at the weaponry. Now, there's multiple things we can do. Right now there's different types of sizes of mounts, okay? So this is a medium turret, and you can see the basic, I'm trying to think of the right word, arc, the firing arc, depicted here in this blue outline. So you can see the directions. Like, for instance, this lightning gun could shoot in this angle out to the duration of its range. It can't shoot this way. So, that particular turret does not fire forward. Now, this turret has an arc, as you see, and that means that it can fire forward. It could fire all the way out to this line. And this one also has a very similar trajectory. So these two turrets could actually fire forward as well as firing to the side. So you can kind of see how that goes. Also, these little small mounts, right now I've equipped them with a kind of a point defense burst laser, which is very good for intercepting fighters and missiles, and I really like those. So I'm going to leave that alone. Now what I have in the front here is a whole bunch of forward mounted items. So, let's see real quick. So these particular ones, I believe, mount type, I thought it said, hold on. Well, anyway, this particular mount can either do energy or it can do missiles. missiles, torpedoes, and such like that. So these ones are blue mounts, and this is only energy. And these could be either missiles or energy. So we've kind of gone the way of energy, but we didn't have to. Okay, so these antimatter blasters are really good for DPS. They have a certain amount of charges. You can only fire each of them 20 times per battle, which is a limitation, but honestly, in my battles so far, you don't use it all, so it's not a big deal. This particular phase lance is the forward firing medium, and I just didn't know what else to use. I decided to use this. I wanted to keep them similar ranges. These are 400, so it's kind of a short range. You kind of, I mean, you get up in the business and you blow them out of the water. That's kind of how it works. So we're just going to experiment and see what we can find. Alright, I think I'm going to try to replace these lightning guns with something else. So, we got Heavy Ion Blaster, which is kind of a medium range disablement gun. I don't really want to use that. I'm thinking about using heavy pulse lasers. Interesting. Okay, here's what we can do. We actually can run simulations. Let's go ahead and mix it up. Let's change the configuration of the ship, right? And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and run a simulation and see how it goes for us. Okay, so in the front, what do we want to do with that? Interesting. I'm not sure we have any better options at the moment. Let's just change the lightning guns for heavy pulse lasers and see if that does it for us. Now, here's something interesting over here. Basically, the way to balance different weaponry. Different weaponry and different hull features and capacitors and vents is something called ordnance points, OP. So, we have a total of 195 on the ship. And we can basically use those in any way we see fit. We can add more capacitors, which basically increases the overall flux capacity, which means your shields can take more damage before overloading, which means your weapons can be fired more often, because certain weapons have, they generate flux by being used. All weapons do, pretty much. So, except for missiles, don't do much. And vents allow you to vent more rapidly. So whatever flux you've built up will vent at a certain rate. So for instance, it'll take me from the look of this, it'll take me about 20 seconds to fully vent, which is a little bit long. So, also there's hull mods. Here you can see that I have hardened shields. So my shields, when raised, take 25% less damage, which is pretty sweet, and so I like it. And, oh yeah, here we have extending the range of ballistic and energy weapons, which is no bad thing. And also turn rate of turrets increased. So those are the things I decided to go with. Now, considering that we have a few extra points, that's because the lightning guns actually were 2 more, they were 13 OP each, so that gives us a savings of 6. So we can increase our vents, so we'll vent a little more rapidly. Here's the weapon groups where you can decide which ones are fired together. There you go. You go ahead and set the heavy pulse lasers in the burst to automatically auto-fire, which is what you want. And I turned it off for the front-mounted stuff because I want to fire those myself. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to use our cruiser. We're going to fight a battleship. Okay, it's kind of nuts. It sounds crazy. That's what we're going to do. We're going to deploy a battleship, and we're going to attempt to outmaneuver it and defeat it. It may go badly, but it's only a simulation, so we'll see what happens. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Whoops. Okay. Perfecto. Here we go. Alright. Already been hit by targeting. This is a very serious ship. Oh, yes. And it's got forward mounted. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at our flux go up. Shields are taking serious damage. Okay, you can see our new cannons are firing away there. Actually raising the opponent's shields rapidly. Look at that flux on that guy. Oh, their flux is hurting. Okay, fired our forward stuff, but we fired our stuff. Badly damaged the opponent. However, we also overloaded it because it takes a lot of flux to fire those particular weapons we have in the front. So, those antimatter blasters are no slouch when it comes to generating. Oh no! Crud! I picked the wrong time. That's example of a bad time to vent the flux, because the opponent just made us suffer for it. Okay. Oh yeah! Look at that! Alright, so they thought they were gonna be able to ram us, which is pretty sweet actually, but luckily we had less flux, and their forward-firing Doom cannon things actually generated a lot of flux for them, so their shields were easily overloaded. That was pretty effective. I have to say that was rather a success. Okay. I think what I'm going to do... is I'm going to go ahead and end the simulation, which is perfect. It went well. And I'm going to just replace this one with a lightning gun, because notice the range down there of the lightning gun is 1,000, whereas the range for these is 600. So I kind of want to give that one a little more range. So here we go. Go ahead and keep one lightning one. Also, there's an EMP damage under the damage, and that can be effective in beating down an opponent's defenses. So there's a couple reasons we'll do that. Perfect. Okay, so we're good there. And refitting here, I think we're already good. This is kind of a the graviton beam is kind of the kind of beam to hang out and put pressure on your opponent, just kind of make them keep their shields up, rather a harassment type thing. And the rest of these little tactical lasers are actually very long range, and just more weapons to kind of keep the opponent at bay. And that's kind of what you want when you're dealing with a tiny frigate like this. You don't want to get too close oftentimes. These harpoons are actually finisher weapons. They only have 3 shots each, but they do a lot of damage. So they can be excellent. Once the opponent overloads, you overload their shields, or you find that venting, those can be a kill easily. They can penetrate the armor and hull and annihilate it. So that's kind of the role there. And here we have more tactical lasers, and we actually have empty slots here because I decided to use the ordnance points elsewhere with a lot of these hull mods. So I mean, you don't have to equip every single weapon you have slots for. So that's one of the flexibilities. The ship has a lot of slots for a destroyer. So anyway, that's kind of a rundown of refitting. So yeah, looking good. So be right back when we find another battle, guys. And we're back. Alright guys, we have found something rather fascinating. That's a big fleet. I mean, right? I don't think we're gonna mess with that fleet. That's nuts. Alright, so I'm seeing the contents of these other guys a little large as well. If we can get one of these guys to separate from the herd, as it were. Okay, here they come. They're coming for this fast picket. We're actually going to go ahead and try to stay in the vicinity of this picket just to be able to join the battle. That's the goal. Okay, so now we have the Imperial blockade fleet engaging with the hegemony, and we're going to come in on the side of the hegemony and wreck some face, because these opponents are, well, we're going to win. Trust me. We are facing 2 cruisers and a battle cruiser, so that's something. I feel confident. This is an excellent cruiser. Yeah. We have it outfitted with some finesse, so. Deploy everything. You can see the allies arrayed against our opponents. Alright. Moving on in. Seeing our new turrets. Getting ready for some action. Oh yeah. That guy's already in the fray. Taking out some fighters. Look how quickly it annihilated those fighters, though. Very helpful. That's why you want to have a few support ships like the destroyer and frigate. Going in by yourself against an opponent would be a little bit foolish, because then you can be overwhelmed and surrounded. If you have a little bit of a support ship group, then you have a better chance, just to keep people off your flanks. Because my shields actually won't cover my entire ship. I have to be a little bit tactical with it. Alright, it's time to get serious. Suck it. Didn't have a chance. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, look at all these missiles galore. Okay, so here's one of the support cruisers, and they're raising our flux pretty rapidly. That's partially because we're firing our turrets pretty heavily too. Where you can see that us firing our weapons is raising our flux, but it's also raising the flux of our opponent. So, kind of retreating back to the group. I'm letting my flux kind of go down naturally instead of venting, because this allows me to continue to fire and ward off the opponent. Okay, we're being hit a little more fiercely here. Okay, that's their main battlecruiser there. So, we're going to try to avoid the battlecruiser for now and focus on one of these cruisers so we can take it out. We got to even the odds a little bit, because we're outclassed, but we're going to win. Shoink! Oh, look at that. Almost dead already. Okay, this is a good opportunity, I believe, to vent. We look around us, we don't see anything too threatening. Alright, so now the battlecruiser is going to feel the pain. Okay, it just vented, so it's ready for action. It's going to be a fair fight. Will it? It's going to die so hard. That's what I'm talking about. So they're overloaded. They're getting wrecked. Face is wrecked. Fire in second round. Oh, yeah, you saw that. You saw that. Okay, so that was an example of those harpoon missiles actually working as a finisher. Okay, so here's the final cruiser, the only other worthy target remaining. We got our two other ships engaging. We're going to come around behind and mess it up. Oh, man. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, no, I made a serious error there, as you may have noticed that. In the explosion of these ships, especially larger ships, there will be a considerable amount of damage dished out. Oops, I actually just crammed that ally into the opponent hull. Even a destroyed hull actually can cause damage, which is very realistic. So, anyway, to explain what happened with me, you can notice that there's a kind of a grayed out area there. That's lack of armor and now hull damage. You can see that my hull is at 50%-ish. So, what happened is I didn't raise my shields before the enemy cruiser exploded, so I received the brunt of that nuclear meltdown there. That was not good. So you want your shields up before the enemy ship explodes. That's just pro tip. So, okay, so all this time I haven't been using the high energy focus either. It's the it is kind of the special ability of the ship. So when you click F, it'll actually activate it, and what will happen is all of my energy weapons will now do more damage for about 10 seconds. So it's pretty sweet, actually. Pretty cool. Other ships have the ability to skip and jump, as we noticed with the Medusa earlier in the other episode. So, yeah. All kinds of different special abilities. This one is just purely offensive. There's no way to really increase your speed. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Let's take it all, and then we gotta dump all the garbo we don't need. La la la. Oh, we got 2 lightning guns from that. That's pretty cool. These sledge guns are terrible. So are the pulsars. No good. Don't want them. Pulsars, no good. Okay. Alright, so that was that was a pretty good adventure there. Excellent. Alright, so let's go find some more trouble, I guess. Oh, actually we need to heal right now. So I'll be right back whenever we're not hurting so bad and we can fight again. And we're back, guys. Okay, so here's another Imperial fleet, and we may be able to gain the assistance of this Hegemony Patrol. But we're going to go ahead and engage it and see what kind of damage we can do. Slow. There we go. Okay, they're burning emergency burn right now. So actually, I might not be able to catch them in time. Let's see if we can get the tail end of this battle. Come in and do some damage. That's the nice thing, is you get a little bit of time to engage. So some of our opponents are already a little bit, combat readiness is down. You can see that we didn't fully return all the way, but we're good. Our hull is almost completely good. We took so much damage with that overload of the enemy cruiser that it took a little longer to repair than usual. Okay, we're gonna all deploy. Let it begin. Ooh, wow. I rammed into my buddy there. Okay. So as you can see, fighters don't share the same plane with you. You can run into them without running into them, as it were. But anything from a frigate bigger, you'll actually smash into them. It's kind of a 2D rather than a 3D. I really like it. It's not necessarily how space works, but it works very well for this game, and I think it's there's nothing really wrong with it. Sometimes when you try to get too realistic with a 3D environment, you actually lose something in the mix. Alright, let's choose our opponent. Let's go ahead and tackle the battle cruiser immediately. It's an outdated battle cruiser. Gonna let it know what's up. It's maybe a similar, or the same design as the one we annihilated earlier, so I'm not feeling too bad. Okay. Alright, we're starting to get in here to mix it up. Gonna put on our shields, don't run into stuff. Okay. Alright. Let's let the battle begin. Face head on. Face to face with the battle cruiser. It's getting serious. Pounding it. I'm liking the efficiency of our cannons there. It's very good. Okay. So they decided it would be a good idea to vent. Oh, but then I overloaded myself with my my fire there. So, definitely a bit of a mistake on my part, but what happened is we lost a little bit of armor, but not too much hull damage. Very little hull damage. So we're still okay. Okay. So, on your screen, if you see the blue numbers, that's hitting the shields, and the yellow numbers is hitting the armor. I believe red is hull. So you don't want red. When you see red, you need to rethink your life. You gotta do something different, because that's not gonna work for you. You don't want your hull getting hit. Alright, so we're gonna casually meander past this guy and mess him up. Alright. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bam! We can accidentally annihilate them. That's all I'm saying. I mean, hey, the battlecruiser's running away. Oh man. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the main map here and see if I can get something to attack it. There are some basic commands you can do: an intercept, a harass, a strike. This is bombers and support fighters. Intercept should be a dedicated attack. Okay, that's what I want to do. So it's gonna assign that guy. He's never gonna get there in time, but oh well. Generally, if I had a ship closer by, it would redirect it and be effective in trying to stop the opponent. But as it is, yeah, I don't think it's gonna make it. This is the point where I wish that this particular cruiser had a boost, because as you can see, this battle cruiser does have a boost. That's its special ability. You can see the overloaded engines, so it's doing well to get away, unfortunately. So the lesson is, don't let the stuff get away. Shoot it. Once it's down, don't stop until they've had enough. Ah! Some of that stuff didn't make it. Ah, frustrating. Come on, I'm so close. So close. Come on. No. And the frigate sacrificed itself to let the battlecruiser escape. How very noble and annoying. Crud. Okay, an ally just got disabled actually, so we still have a bit of a fight going on down here. But I'm gonna go ahead and be right back, guys, until this battle's over, because it's pretty much mobbing up now. Or actually, I won't be right back. I can just claim victory at this point. So, they're defeated. Yeah. Sweet. Alright. Very good, very good. A heavy pulse laser like that. Alright. Don't need the rest of this garbo. Okay. Alright. Excellent. Okay, so we're getting our repairs done. Alright, I think actually we're going to do one more thing with this episode. We're going to go do one more simulation just for fun. We're going to see what kind of other ship we can take out. We defeated this battleship in mano-a-mano combat. Let's go against this Paragon class elite battleship. Okay, this is a little more of a standard, older style battleship. A little bit clunky, you know, a lot of ballistic weaponry. This one has a lot of energy weaponry and has incredible range with its forward-firing guns. So, it has some Tachyon lances, I believe, built into the front. So, this one will be a considerable challenge. I think we should at least give it an effort. Alright, here we go. Mano-y-mano. With a serious ship. I mean, this ship, you're gonna see, it's pretty much nuts. Also, my combat readiness for this simulation is... Oh, there you go. Look at that. Long range. Okay, here we go. So its flux is going up more rapidly than me. That means I'm winning the attrition battle. So now I'm hoping to... BAM! So I took the moment where they didn't have any more flux for their shields. And basically... Oop, I'm basically out of flux. Okay. Oh. They're almost dead. They're actually... Their hull is like... There's only a sliver left. But I was so close to getting overloaded. Alright. Oh, crud. Okay, we're having trouble now. Oh. We were doing so good. But, unfortunately... Oh, no. That was a mistake. Mistakes were made. Oh. Okay. So our flux is okay. We're now doing a little better, but we took a lot of damage there. The problem is, I got so high on flux that I couldn't do any more damage to them. So as soon as they get to the maximum flux, they have two options. Got it! Haha! So they have two options when they get maximum flux. They can either lower their shields to avoid the overload, or because they won't auto-fire, they generally won't auto-fire to an overload, so they lower their shields, so I can't give them any more flux. Yeah, they either... What am I saying? They either lower the shields, so I can't do it, or they leave them up and have an overload. You just keep pounding it. So, definitely, they're in a bit of a tight spot once their flux goes to the top, so you have to really manage that. It's just basically the way of expressing you have too much energy, you fire too many weapons, or you got hit by too many weapons. So, alright guys, well I think that'll pretty much do it for episode 2. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, smash that like button, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time, guys.